Brad Vickers is not a coward.
Brad! Where the hell's he going?
He's coming to save the day, mother. I'm gonna speak on this today as a veteran with countless combat air assault missions under my belt. I'm gonna stand up for a man that deserves to have more respect put on his name and prove once and for all that Brad Vickers is in fact not a coward, but a hero.
Door behind you, go!
To kick things off, where does the concept of Brad being a coward even start? It starts here. This is from the pamphlet that has character descriptions from Resident Evil 1. Brad is a computer expert and a great information gatherer. Note that in your mind. Unfortunately, his fear of dying draws much heat from his fellow soldiers. His lack of enthusiasm for rushing into danger has earned him the nickname Chicken Heart. While Chris is a qualified pilot, Brad flies the helicopter for Alpha Team. Okay, let's break that down, shall we? His fear of dying draws heat from his fellow soldiers, huh? Let's be real here. A fear of dying does not make you a coward. In fact, I would argue that a lack of healthy fear of dying makes you a psychopath. And considering the BOW destroying monster houses that the vast majority of the STAR's surviving members turn into, I think it's fair to say that Brad's not a coward. These guys are just built different. Jill Valentine and Rebecca Chambers threaten the masculinity of just about every man who's ever even played Resident Evil, myself included. But this doesn't make Brad a coward, it just means he's not on the same level of bravery as boulder-punching Chris Redfield. And ball-busting is super common among small, tight units like this. The second thing that contributes to the widespread false belief that Brad is a coward is they claim that he abandons them in the events of Resident Evil 1. But let's take a look at that too, shall we? I'm about to debunk this whole argument. Watch to the end so you can get the whole picture here. I've been in over 50 combat air assault missions, being both dropped off and picked up by a helicopter. And do you want to know what the pilot did in every single one of those missions? Leave. Especially if we ended up taking contact shortly after getting out of the bird. Let's reevaluate the entire sequence here. So as you can see, we start off noticing that the Arclay forest where they're attempting to enter is heavily wooded, leaving very few areas that a helicopter can even land, an important thing to remember here. They then find the downed helicopter of Bravo Team and head over to investigate. Remember, they lost contact with Bravo Team, and that's why they're out here. They don't know why the helicopter went down or how. They just know that it did.
Save for the remaining body of Kevin.
This would already be justification for Brad to take off and keep their means of escape safe, hovering the area and reinitiating contact to rendezvous with his team to pick them up after they complete the investigation. Remember, Brad is alone in that helicopter. If he gets surrounded and ambushed, he ends up just like the Bravo Team pilot did, and then nobody can get out of there. You never, ever risk your pilot or the aircraft that you intend to escape with. Boom, contact. At this point, it becomes a 100% expectation by all military standards that Brad takes off. Your team has left you behind with the aircraft that is their only means of escape, and now they've just taken contact. If I were on the STARS team, I would be pissed if Brad didn't take off at this point. Bro, I want a pilot and a helicopter that are both in shape to take me out of here. But it's also the ground team's responsibility to secure a safe landing zone for the helicopter to come pick them up. That's their job, not Brad's. We know that they came in without an armed escort, and we also know that that helicopter does not have any mounted weaponry on it. They need to find a new landing zone and secure a safe perimeter for Brad to even land in. Moving on. Right there, pay attention. The chopper is coming up from behind them. He was flying in the exact same direction they were running in, which means they weren't even running back to the chopper to take off in the first place. He took off and started traveling in the direction that they ran. They left him. Now, What is it they said he's good at again? Oh, that's right, information gathering. And he is a pilot. He's scouting ahead using his aerial view to find a new area to coordinate with his team to rendezvous at and get picked up. At this point, I'm willing to argue that Alpha Team abandoned and deserted Brad, not the other way around.
Hey, Brad! Where the hell's he going?
Where the hell's he going? Well, we're about to get a very good indication of exactly where he's going.
Chris, this way.
Right here, where Wesker redirects Chris and Jill to his direction, what probably happened is Brad, being up in the sky, saw the mansion and started going that way, assuming that that would be the next logical location for a pickup. And Wesker was also taking them that way. So he went to the mansion, and then Wesker redirected them in that direction as well. They didn't know where he was going because they were going in the wrong direction. They were literally just running deeper into Arklay Wilderness filled with zombies. Now, with the cutscene over, let's review Brad's course of action over the rest of the game. He doesn't leave. He continuously hovers around the area, constantly trying to make radio contact with his team so he can coordinate a pickup with them, even after he hears nothing from them and gets no responses for hours.
This is Brad. If you can hear me, just give me a sign. Anything.
Jill to Brad, can you hear me?
Hovering around for hours like that was likely directly against whatever his standard operating procedures were, a huge risk to his own safety, and it was all in an attempt to retrieve his teammates because he would not leave them behind.
Stars Alpha Team. Bravo Team. Doesn't matter. Respond!
And we have proof that he never left because by the end of the game, he literally says he's running out of fuel.
Brad, I'm running out of fuel. If there's anyone alive, contact me now or...
So he couldn't have left to refuel and come back. He stayed and hovered for hours, which is again a massive risk and definitely not what his superiors would have told him to do. If anything, this likely would have gotten him a valorous commendation. Now we get to the rooftop, where they signal him with flares since the radios haven't been working. But before he gets there, the tyrant bursts through the floor. This is now a hot landing zone. Pilots, do not risk landing in a hot landing zone if they don't have armed escort. That is a huge risk to the pilot and the bird, which makes it to where he would risk the entire team's opportunity to escape in the first place. It is literally the ground team's job to eliminate the threat, secure a safe perimeter, and he even helps them to do so when he tosses down the rocket launcher.
Yeah! Jill, use it! Kill it, whatever it is!
Realistically, he could have just hovered there and waited for them to do their job, and that would have been perfectly acceptable by all standards. He did exactly what he is supposed to do. He hovered there and let the ground team do their job to secure a safe perimeter and clear the landing zone so he could pick them up. So let's review. If he had stayed in the forest, like so many people say he should have, he would have died and the entire team would have gone down with the mansion. If he tried to pull some kind of James Bond mid-action helicopter pickup, again, the tyrant kills him and they all die in the explosion of the mansion. Brad not only made all the correct choices, but he made brave ones, decisions that put him directly at risk, and all for the sake of saving his team and his friends. Without Brad and his choices, Alpha Team never would have escaped the mansion and the whole world would be worse off for it. Say it with me. Brad Vickers is a hero.